From Himachal Pradesh, inside a small stone chamber, flames burn from the rock itself. There is no oil lamp. In the Kangra Valley of Himachal Pradesh, below the Dhauladhar mountains where the Beas River cuts through pine forests and slate-roofed villages, there is a temple that has puzzled visitors for at least 1,000 years. Inside a small stone chamber, flames burn from the rock itself. There is no oil lamp. There is no firewood. There is no wick. Natural gas seeps through fissures in the stone and ignites when it meets the air, producing 9 distinct flames that the priests have named after goddesses Mahakali, Annapurna, Chandi, Hinglaj, Vindhyavasini, Mahalakshmi, Saraswati, Ambika, and Anji Devi. The temple is called Jwalamukhi. In Sanskrit, Jwala means flame and Mukhi means mouth. The mouth of flame. The local people do not treat it as a geological curiosity. They treat it as the presence of the goddess herself, not in a statue, not in a painting, but in fire. The origin story comes from the old Puranas. Sati, the first wife of Shiva, was the daughter of the great king Daksha. Daksha despised Shiva, despised his ash-smeared body, his wild companions, his refusal to bow to court etiquette. He organized a grand sacrifice and invited every god and sage in the universe. He did not invite Shiva. Sati went anyway. At the sacrifice, Daksha insulted her husband publicly. Sati could not bear it. She invoked her yogic power and burst into flames on the spot, dying by her own fire rather than live with the dishonor. Shiva, hearing the news, opened his third eye. He sent Veerbhadra to destroy Daksha's sacrifice. He then picked up Sati's body and danced across the cosmos in a grief so vast it threatened to unmake creation. Vishnu, to stop the destruction, sent his discus to cut Sati's body into pieces. Where each piece fell, a shrine arose. 51 pieces, the tradition says. 51 Shakti Pithas. At Jwalamukhi, it was Sati's tongue that fell. The flame, the priests say, is the tongue still speaking. The Puranic story is ancient. The local Himachali story is more recent and more human. A cowherd, the legend says, was grazing his cattle on the slopes below the Dhauladhar. One of his cows wandered away and did not return for days. He searched and found the animal standing before a crack in the hillside, milk dripping from its udder as though it were offering milk to the earth itself. The cowherd looked into the crack. He saw flame. He told the village. The village told the priests. A shrine was built around the flame, first a small stone enclosure, then a temple, then a complex of courtyards and bells that would attract emperors. The cowherd's name is forgotten. The cow's name is forgotten. But in Kangra, when a villager tells the story, he always mentions the milk. The goddess, he says, revealed herself not to a king but to a cow. That is the kind of detail Himachal remembers. In the late 16th century, the Mughal Emperor Akbar heard of a temple in the Kangra hills where fire burned without fuel. He did not believe it. He sent his gunner with a gift of a golden parasol, chhatra, and a message, if the goddess is real, let her accept this. The gunner placed the golden parasol above the flame. According to the temple chronicles, the gold melted. Not slowly, instantly, as though the fire were not earthly heat but divine judgment. Akbar, when he heard this, is said to have been impressed. He sent another gift, a large brass bell, which still hangs in the temple courtyard. He also, according to some versions, sent a grant of land for the temple's maintenance. Whether every detail is historically exact is debated by scholars. But the bell is real. The Kangra priests point to it. They say, even the Emperor of Hindustan could not deny Jwalamukhi. In 1809, Maharaja Ranjit Singh of Punjab, the one-eyed king who had united the Sikh misls into an empire, travelled to Jwalamukhi on foot. He was a devotee of the goddess. He had heard the stories since childhood. He climbed the path from Kangra town without a palanquin, wearing simple clothes, carrying a small offering. He donated a large sum for the temple's gold plating on the dome. He ordered that an annual grant be given for the lamps and the priests. The temple records still mention his name. In Himachal, this is not seen as a contradiction, a Sikh king worshipping a Hindu goddess. The hills have always been a place where boundaries blur. The flame does not ask your religion. It burns for whoever climbs the steps. Ranjit Singh understood that. He left his shoes at the gate like everyone else. At Jwalamukhi, the goddess is not worshipped through a statue. She is worshipped through the flames themselves. The head priest, a hereditary position held by the same family for generations, performs the aarti by moving a lamp near each of the 9 flames in turn. Devotees bring offerings, coconuts, red cloth, desi ghee. During the Navratri festival, when the temple is packed so tightly that the courtyard flows like a river of people, the flames are the focus of every eye. The priests say the flames change behavior. Sometimes they burn low and blue. Sometimes they leap high and orange. Old women in the crowd interpret the changes as messages. The goddess is pleased, the goddess is warning, the goddess is listening to your particular prayer. Scientists say the variations depend on gas pressure and wind. Both explanations coexist in Kangra without much argument. The flame is old enough to contain both. In 1905, a devastating earthquake struck Kangra. Entire villages were flattened. The Dhauladhar foothills cracked. Thousands died. The Jwalamukhi temple was damaged, walls cracked, the gold dome shifted, but the flame chamber remained intact. The flames, witnesses said, did not go out during the shaking. In a region where every family remembers which ancestor died in which disaster, this detail became part of the temple's living folklore. The goddess, people said, had held her tongue in the earth even when the earth itself was breaking. The temple was rebuilt. The flames continued. Pilgrims returned in even greater numbers. There is a psychology to disaster in the hills. When everything else is unstable, you need something that did not go out. Jwalamukhi became that something for Kangra. Today, Jwalamukhi is one of the most visited temples in Himachal Pradesh. Buses climb the road from Kangra town every morning. Trekkers coming down from the Dhauladhar sometimes stop to offer a coconut before continuing to the plains. The 9 flames still burn from the rock. The brass bell Akbar may have sent still hangs. The gold dome Ranjit Singh paid for still catches the afternoon sun. Himachal has many sacred places, Hidimba in Manali, Naina Devi above Bilaspur, Chintapurni in the west, but Jwalamukhi is different because there is no image. Only fire. The devotees who come here are not looking at a representation of the divine. They are looking at something that consumes. In a cold mountain state where winter kills the careless, a flame that has burned for centuries feels like a promise. Some things do not go out. The tongue of Sati still speaks in Kangra. The cowherd's discovery is still told. The emperor's melted gold is still remembered. The fire goes on. Tomorrow's story comes from another corner of India. Subscribe to walk with us through the folklore of every region in your language.